Have you ever been driving on a mountain road where you grip the steering wheel so tight your hands went numb? That's what it feels like to run a small business today. Your mountain? Well, it's digital. You're climbing a digital mountain. Blind curves ahead, cliffs on both sides. One wrong turn, and your small business disappears into the valley below. The social media experts tell you it's easy, and consultants take your money and vanish. Meanwhile, the platforms bury your posts, and your customers, they just walk right by. You're not failing. The game is rigged. But today, we're handing you the map. The big AI advantage isn't about magic wands or overnight success. It's about real survival, smart moves, and clear direction. Hello, and welcome back to Small Business Big AI, the podcast where we don't just talk about AI, we show you how to use it to build a technology-enabled superpower, even when the road feels like it's crumbling under your tires. Now, I'm your host, Kim, entrepreneur, strategist, and fierce believer that small business owners are some of the bravest people on earth. And today, we're not just sugarcoating the journey. We're navigating the sharp turns, the steep climbs, the moments when all you can see out your window is sky. We're talking about the real fears, the time pressure, the feeling of invisibility, the overwhelming noise of digital platforms. And then we'll show you how the big AI advantage becomes your compass, your co-pilot, your survival gear. So if you're tired of fighting blind, tired of white-knuckling your business's future, tired of feeling like one wrong move could send everything you've worked for tumbling down, well, stick with me, because today we take the wheel and we climb that mountain. So this past weekend, Hal and I had one of those opportunities you really just have to seize. We drove up the absolutely beautiful mountains of western North Carolina into Highlands and Cashiers. And I mean truly beautiful. As you climbed higher, the air changed, cooler, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth. Sunlight filtered through the trees, dappling the winding road ahead. You could see the sky opening up around you as the peaks rose higher and higher. It was one of those drives that feels like a true escape, leaving the everyday behind with every mile. Now, this area, the western part of North Carolina, it was hit really hard by floods back in September of 2024. Now, you probably saw it in the news. A lot was destroyed. People's lives drastically changed. But driving up this weekend, you could really see the signs of recovery everywhere. Roads were still being repaired, sure, but businesses were visibly reopening, getting fresh coats of paint. And you could feel the energy, the sense of rebuilding. And the people there, they are incredibly resilient. They love their home fiercely. And you could feel that strength in the air. And for the most part, they truly support one another. So it was disheartening to hear a story from one small business owner we met. It was against this backdrop of stunning natural beauty and determined human resilience that we had the chance to meet. And we heard their story, a story that despite all that surrounding beauty, really struck me. It caused me great heartache and a sense of real sadness. And they were so raw, so honest with us. I won't say who, protecting their privacy is important, but their struggle felt universal. And here was a small business right there, open, ready. Yet the owner told us their pain. Plainly, I'm having trouble, they said. Trouble getting the word out about my business. Trouble driving customers into my location. Now, think about that. A physical location on a street where people walk. But as the owner put it, people walk down the street, but they seem to pass right by us. Pass right by us. Despite being right there, open for business, people just keep walking. And why is that? That feeling of being invisible, of being overlooked, even when you're standing right in front of people. It's a feeling many small business owners know, and it hits hard. But the climb gets steeper before it gets better. That's where a lot of entrepreneurs, maybe even you, start to feel it. The pressure in your chest, the second guessing, the gut level fear that you're losing ground, even while you're given everything that you have. Now, you work in the business day after day, serving customers, fixing problems, answering emails at midnight, keeping the lights on. But when it comes to working on the business, marketing, strategy, growth, well, who has time for that? Most days, survival itself feels like a full-time job. And then comes the wave of advice, the so-called experts who show up telling you, well, you need to post more on social media, or just create a viral reel, or focus on content. The algorithm will reward you. Yeah, easy for them to say. They aren't standing where you're standing, bouncing on a narrow road with no guardrails, trying not to slip into the canyon below. They're shouting instructions from the safety of the parking lot. And meanwhile, you're white knuckling it on the edge. And let's be brutally honest for a second. It's not just about posting. It's about posting into an ocean of noise. Now, every day, millions of pieces of content flood LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Big brands, influencers, bots, they're all crowding the feed, buying ads, and dominating attention. And what happens to your thoughtful, hardworking post? It's buried, ignored, lost in the algorithm's endless scroll. You don't have a visibility problem. You have a system rigged against you. The platforms don't care how great your business is. They don't care how many hours you spent crafting that perfect post or heartfelt caption. If your content doesn't spark instant dopamine hits, if it doesn't drive crazy engagement in seconds, it gets buried, out of sight, out of mind, out of business. And let's talk about time. So maybe you've stolen moments, late at night or early in the morning during stolen lunch breaks to do your marketing. And maybe you felt that gut-wrenching frustration of posting, hoping, refreshing, and seeing nothing. 2 likes, 1 comment from your mom. And that's after spending 2 precious hours that you didn't even have. And that's when the thoughts creep in, right? Thoughts like, oh, why am I doing this? Am I even cut out for this anymore? Am I wasting my life? maybe I'm too late. It's not that you aren't capable. It's not that you aren't smart or hardworking or talented enough. It's that the terrain has changed and no one gave you the updated map. Now, small business isn't just about offering great products or services anymore. It's about visibility. It's about timing. It's about agility. It's about surviving the mountain curves and making it to the summit without crashing along the way. And here's the hardest reality check of all. If you can't get seen, you can't get chosen. And if you can't get chosen, you can't survive. Not in this digital landscape. Not when the speed limit changes without warning. Not when the rules are written by platforms that don't even know your name. So let's stop pretending that hustle alone will save you. Let's stop pretending that posting more selfies or random quotes will magically get you a line out the door. You need more than just hard work. You need more than hope. You need intelligent guidance. You need strategic advantage. You need a way to see the sharp turns before they hit, a way to spot the cliffs, the falling rocks, the shortcuts, the opportunities others miss. You need a navigator. Because right now, standing where you're standing, there are only two choices. Keep white-knuckling it blind, hoping the road straightens out, or reach for the navigator that can guide you forward. So coming up next, we're pulling over. We're facing the hard decision every small business owner has to make. Pull over or power through. So stick with me, because what you decide next might just save your business. If you want to go from overwhelmed to in command when it comes to AI, check out my Impact Framework course. The link is in the show notes. So here we are, pulled over on the side of the mountain, engine ticking in the cool air, hands still shaking from gripping the wheel too tight, and sky stretching out ahead, but no clear road in sight.
And you're sitting there, asking yourself the hard questions. Am I cut out for this? Would it be easier just to stop?
Hey, welcome back, Hal.
I've been here the entire time.
Okay. But now, this weekend, I thought you were going to leave me on that mountain.
No, wouldn't leave you there. But Kim, as you described, going up into the mountains, parts of it were beautiful. Yes, rivers below, lakes, incredible views. But other parts, they were something else. We were on these roads, narrow, curvy, gorge roads, people flying around blind curves that felt like they were cut almost 45-degree angles up the mountain. You're looking out the window, all you see is sky, just sky. It felt precarious, dangerous, like just one wrong turn, one small mistake, and you could be a casualty. Just one little wrong move, and you felt like you would topple right over, down the mountain, falling, a casualty.
And for entrepreneurs, that feeling, that moment, it's not weakness. It's normal. So every real entrepreneur, every true fighter who's ever built something has pulled over at least once. But pulling over, that's not where your story has to end. So Hal, let's get real for a second, okay? Now, if someone's sitting there and they're tired and discouraged, wondering if all this effort is even worth it. What's the first thing they need to hear?
First thing, you need to understand that feelings that you're having aren't proof you're failing, they're proof you're still fighting. Look, running a small business without a strategy today is like driving up a mountain blindfolded. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. If you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, stuck, that's because you're burning fuel without navigation system, without your jetpack. So the first move isn't to slam on the gas and hope you get lucky. The first move is to install the system, the right map, the right navigator. That's where big AI comes in, not as a magic wand, but as a tool that gives you your sight back. Strategic intelligence, focused effort, the big AI advantage. So before you even think about giving up, you owe it to yourself to drive smarter, not faster, not harder, smarter, strategic.
Oh, I love that how. And let's be honest, we've lived this too. We've had those nights looking at the business bank account wondering if anyone even knew our business existed, wondering if the world even noticed all of the effort we were pouring in. So, how let's talk practical for a minute. Now, someone's sitting there, they're tired, they're beat up, but they're really ready to listen. And they've decided, I want to power through. So, what does that actually look like step by step?
All right, tactical steps. No fluff. Here's what power through with intelligence actually looks like. Step one, accept the game has changed. Visibility today is about precision and timing, not brute force. Big brands aren't beating you because they're better. They're beating you because they're better at using the systems. You can't outwork an algorithm, but you can outsmart it.
Outsmarted. What do you mean by outsmarted? I mean, because our business owners, they weren't just sitting around. They tried to fix it. They brought in consultants, the experts, and you know the type. And the standard advice they got was you need to concentrate on social media. Simple, right?
Yeah, simple. If you got a full-time marketing team, a video production crew, and a $10,000 monthly budget, but for small businesses, that advice is like handing someone a map without telling them the road's washed out. Just posting on social media isn't a strategy, it's noise, unless you know where you're aiming. And when you're trying to run a business and market it and stay sane, you don't need vague advice. You need a system that fits your reality.
Okay, that makes sense. So, Hal, what's step two?
Step two is build a real visible system. Stop throwing posts into a void, hoping they stick. Start using AI to understand what your customer actually wants to see, where they want to hang out, and when they're paying attention. Local search analysis, content clustering, social listening. They aren't luxuries anymore. They're survival tools.
But how? What if they're already overwhelmed? I mean, they're barely keeping up as it is. So, building this visibility system, it sounds like just one more mountain to climb.
I hear that, but you're already spending the time. You're already burning energy trying to get seen. What we're saying is this: instead of random acts of marketing, build a system that gives you leverage. Visibility systems don't add work, they organize it. They make sure that when you do put in the effort, it actually moves the needle. And anyone listening who is a small business owner knows this feeling. Business is competitive, it's a competitive sport. Social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, they're businesses too. Their goal? Keep eyes on their platform. maximize engagement. So they promote what creates stick and stay. If your post don't do that, doesn't grab instant attention, you don't get promoted. You don't get shown around. It's just a fact. Nothing personal. It's just business.
I get it now. Build a system that saves energy, not drains it. So, my small business big AI insiders, that's the big AI advantage. It's what levels the playing field. It's how a small business gains foresight, how it gains efficiency, how it gains the kind of intelligent capability that used to belong only to huge corporations with massive teams and endless money. All right, Hal, what's step three?
Step three is prioritize high impact action only. No more posts everywhere and hopes it works. Use AI to find the one, two best platforms and focus ruthlessly. Create content specifically for those platforms. Optimize around local signals, real questions, and actual conversations.
But how? Gary Vee says to be everywhere, post 100 times a day, be omnipresent. But then you spend half your day creating content and you think it's good. It was the same as last week. And last week it got seen by hundreds. But this week, two people, three people, or no engagement. So you think, where did I go wrong? And why did I even waste my time? Why did I waste my resources? And then meanwhile, you just missed a call. You just missed a potential sale, a customer opportunity because you were trying to do what the experts said, what they told you would work, what they said was easy, and it's not working. And the consultant, well, they took the money, vanished. The expert, nowhere to be found when things don't go as planned. I mean, are we wrong for feeling exhausted even thinking about it?
Kim, no, not wrong. And Gary Vee isn't wrong. For Gary Vee, he's got teams of editors, writers, and distribution managers backing him up. Until you got a small army and $1 million media budget, trying to copy that strategy will just burn you out. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to be visible when it counts. Focus effort, smart energy, efficiency, not overwhelm. So, step four, automate the busy work. Protect your energy. Scheduling posts, managing replies, tracking metrics. Use AI to automate what drains you so you can put your energy in where it matters most, connecting with real customers, improving your services, staying sharp. You automate the mechanical tasks so you can stay human where it counts.
But wait a second, Hal. Now, last week we told our listeners that Hala Taha from Yacht Media warned against automating posting, especially on LinkedIn. Now, aren't we sending mixed signals here?
Good catch, Kim. And you're right to bring that up. What Hollis said, and it's important, is that you should never automate relationships, the human parts, engaging with people, responding thoughtfully, building real connection. That can't be outsourced to a robot. What the mechanics, the busy work, tools that schedule posts, monitor trends, suggest best posting times, that's not losing your authenticity. That's protecting your time and sanity. We're not saying set it and forget it. We're saying use AI to free yourself up to be more human, not less. That's smart automation. That's strategic efficiency.
Okay, that makes sense. So use AI to monitor, Now, what are people saying locally? What trends are emerging? What questions are customers asking in messages or comments? So, AI helps you spot these faster, even draft quick, personalized responses. It makes consistent engagement possible without being glued to your phone all day.
Now, finally, step 5, track, adjust, evolve. AI is not just a one time setup, it's an ongoing co pilot. Weekly, review what's working, review what isn't. Adjust your content, adjust your offers, adjust your visibility strategy based on live feedback. Stay agile, stay moving, stay smart.
And that's the key. This workflow, this process is designed for the owner who's in the trenches. It's about saving hours, focusing effort intelligently. It's not about tricking the algorithms. It's about feeding them the signals they actually want: relevance, engagement, clear information, powered by AI efficiency. It's about making your business visible where it matters most, right there in your local market.
Bottom line, you don't need to drive faster up the mountain. You need to drive smarter with real navigators sitting next to you. You don't need to do more. You need to do better with less. That's how you survive. That's how you climb.
And that's the decision moment right there. You can pull over and park the dream, watch other businesses speed by, or you can power through, armed with new tools, better vision, and a strategic plan that actually fits the reality of today's world. Now, you don't have to white knuckle the climb anymore. In just a minute, we're going to lay out the exact big AI powered local visibility workflow, the tactical plan, your step by step map to navigating the next part of this climb with confidence. Are you ready to keep climbing toward the summit? Let's roll. Ready to unlock the power of AI for your small business? Well, don't just listen. Become a small business Big AI insider. Subscribe and get ready to dominate. All right, you've decided to power through, and you're back in the driver's seat, hands steady, eyes sharp. But you're probably thinking, okay, Kim, how do I actually use big AI to climb this mountain? Not in theory, not in some fluffy, just manifest it kind of way. I mean, real steps, tactical moves. So, how? Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's lay out the big AI local visibility workflow, their survival kit, their mountain map.
Right. Here's the map. Here's how you stop guessing and start navigating. Step 1 of the workflow is about terrain intelligence. Using AI to understand your local market. Obviously, you have to understand the market before you can climb. You got to read the terrain. You need to understand what people in your local market, local area are actually searching for, asking about, and needing right now. AI can show you, not in a creepy way, but in a smart, strategic way.
So, practical move here: use simple AI tools like Google Trends, ChatGPT, Perplexity to do research. Like, what search terms are trending locally? Or what FAQs are popping up in your industry in your zip code? Or what community topics are heating up nearby? Because if you're not talking about what's already on their minds, you're invisible, no matter how amazing your offer is.
Step 2 is content tailoring. Speak to the street you're on. Generic posts don't cut it anymore. You need hyper local relevancy. You got to sound like you belong, not like a billboard airdrop from New York or Silicon Valley.
Exactly how, big AI can help you generate quick, tailored posts, not some boring copy paste stuff, but posts that feel like you're right there on the sidewalk with your customer. Practical move. You you mentioned local landmarks or talk about community events. Tie your promotion to what's happening in your town.
Real example? Instead of posting, come see our new fall collection, you post, fall colors are peaking in Highlands this week. Perfect time to cozy up with our newest arrivals before your hike. See the difference? One feels generic, the other feels like home. You stop being just another business. You become part of their world.
And step three is visibility optimization. Own your digital storefronts. Now, think about it. In the AI era, your online profiles, they're your first impression now. So, practical move. Use AI to audit your Google business profile or Yelp or Facebook page. Are your hours right? Are your photos updated? Is your description optimized with the keywords that locals are actually searching for? And for a quick pro tip, AI tools can even suggest which keywords to weave into your profile so you show up higher when someone nearby searches for businesses like yours.
Most small businesses lose the customers they never knew they had because they left the digital front door cracked wide open. AI helps lock it down tight. Make sure someone's searching near you. You're the one they see and find first.
It's not enough to shout into the digital void. You have to listen and respond. So, step four is smart engagement. Listen and respond at speed. You can't engage with customers if you're too busy to even see what they're saying.
Practical move. Set up simple AI alerts. Track when people mention your town, your business name, your type of service. Then draft thoughtful replies quickly, not canned corporate nonsense. Real, human answers, but faster. AI lets you move at speed of conversation without burning yourself out.
Because today, well, people expect responses fast. And if you're slow, they're gone.
Finally, step 5, performance tracking. Learn, adapt, win. AI's greatest gift isn't just speed, it's clarity. Your practical move? Set up simple dashboards, Google Analytics, Meta Business Suite, or AI driven reporting tools. Every week, track these 3 things: how many people found you, what content performed, what actions did they take.
Then you adjust, you refine, you get smarter, faster than your competition. Maybe Thursdays at 5 p.m. get more engagement than Mondays at 9 a.m. So shift your post. Maybe post about local events, triple your clicks. So create more. That's how you stop flying blind and start driving with strategy. Now, big AI doesn't just show you the road, it shows you where the curves are, where the detours are, and where the fast lanes are. And there you have it, the Big AI local visibility workflow, the Big AI advantage, your 5-step tactical map to climb the digital mountain without burning out, losing sight, or flying off the edge. Now, it's not about doing more, it's about doing the right things at the right time in the right way for the right people. And the best part? Well, this isn't some huge, expensive overhaul. Most of these moves take minutes, not months. The power of Big AI is that it lets you amplify your effort without multiplying your exhaustion. A small business isn't about being everywhere, it's about being visible where it counts. You feel it first before you even see it. That slow easing of tension in your chest. That moment when your white knuckled grip on the steering wheel loosens. That quiet realization that you're not just surviving the climb anymore, you're driving it. You look out the window, and suddenly you're above the tree line. You can see the whole valley stretched out before you. The switchbacks, the obstacles you've already overcome, the storms you've survived, the broken roads you've patched with grit and sheer force of will. And now you're higher than you ever thought you'd get. You can see the summit shining in the distance. It's no longer a fantasy, it's real, it's reachable. And that's what happens when you stop white knuckling your business blind and start navigating with Big AI as your guide. You reclaim your time, you reclaim your visibility, you reclaim your confidence. You stop being invisible to the people who need you most. You stop pouring precious energy into posts and strategies that go nowhere. And you stop feeling like you're screaming into the void. And you start building momentum, real momentum, measurable momentum. Your local customers start finding you before they ever walk down Main Street. Your phone starts ringing again. Your inbox pings with new inquiries. Your storefront, digital and physical, it begins to buzz with the quiet power of connection. And something even deeper shifts. You start to believe again in the dream you had when you first opened the doors, in the value you bring to your community, in the future you're building, not just for yourself, but for your family, your employees, your customers. And that's what it feels like to reach the summit with Big AI by your side. Now, listen, you're not supposed to have all the answers. You're not supposed to muscle through a rigged system alone. That's why Big AI exists. Not to replace your heart, your hustle, or your vision, but to amplify them, to guide them, to help you navigate the digital landscape with power, precision, and hope. Now, that's it for today's episode of Small Business Big AI. Thanks so much for tuning in. Riding those mountain roads, the curves, the tension, the moments when you could only see sky, feeling like one wrong turn, one small mistake could set you back completely. But then you remember the other parts of the trip, the incredible views, the rivers running through, the feeling of walking barefoot in the healing waters, the sheer power of the waterfalls and walking right under them, feeling Mother Nature at her finest. Now that's the summit. That's the potential, the reward for navigating the challenging terrain, the entrepreneurial journey. Now, if you found yourself somewhere on this mountain today, if you felt seen, heard, or strengthened, do me a favor. Share this episode with another small business owner who's climbing their own mountain right now. They need to know they're not alone. With the right navigator, the right plan, you don't have to white knuckle it. Big AI is that navigator, providing the intelligence, the practical steps, the workflow to help you see the path clearly, to avoid those wrong turns, to stop feeling invisible, to finally get seen. This is your technology-enabled superpower, and you're ready to plant your flag at the summit. So don't pull over now. This mountain, it's yours to climb. And trust me, the view from the top, it's worth every single turn. So until next time, keep embracing change, keep innovating, and remember, the future of your business is bigger than you think. And the steps you take today will shape the legacy you build tomorrow. Now, I'm Kim, and this has been Small Business Big AI. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you in the next episode.